I am saying that you can do this. And I know personally, because again, I had nothing. Many of these things I was not taught. I didn't learn in school, but I'm telling you that you can do this. Welcome to the New Creations channel, where we talk about finances, business, and real estate through the lens of the Bible, which is the Word of God. My name is Chris. Today, I'm going to be talking about financial literacy. Just a quick disclaimer, this is not professional or legal advice. This is for informational purposes only, and you can choose to or not to take heed to this information at your own discretion. My goal is not to come across as an expert in the financial field. My goal is to explain finances in a way that made sense for me, and hopefully it makes sense to you. And I encourage you to watch this video all the way through, because I am going to be dropping gems along the way. I do have a bonus tip at the end. I'm going to show you guys a fun, practical way to exercise what I talk about in this video. So if you find value, go ahead and click like and subscribe. Help us get to that goal of 1,000 subscribers. So let's go ahead and get started. I can personally attest to going through school, graduating, but never learning how to balance a checkbook, how to build credit, or how to read and understand a financial statement. But in the Bible, I believe that there's an illustration that explains this idea of financial literacy in a way that we can understand. And that illustration is in the parable of the talents. The Bible says that there was a man that went on a long journey, and he entrusted his goods to 3 servants. One servant he gave 5 talents, another servant he gave 2 talents, and another servant he gave 1 talent. And those talents were a form of money or a form of currency. And the Bible says that the one that had 5 talents, he traded, or in other words, he invested those 5 talents and he got 5 more. The one that had 2 did likewise, and he got 4. But the one that had 1, he buried his talent, he hid it in the ground. And the Bible says that not only did he get nothing in return, but he was also harshly reprimanded for what he did. So let's talk about financial literacy. What is financial literacy? Of course, finances have to do with money, but more specifically, where your money is coming from and where your money is going. Where your money comes from, of course, is called income or revenue. That's called earned income. It's usually from a job or employment, whether you are a W-2 employee or a 1099 worker. It comes from a hobby or a side hustle or a legitimate business, or maybe you even receive some type of assistance. But nevertheless, where your money comes from is your income or your revenue. So there's actually 7 types of income. I'm not going to go through an exhaustive list, but the 2 basic forms of income are active income. Again, that's your earned income, or passive income. Where your money goes is called expenses. Those are your bills, rent, mortgage, car note, insurance, or whatever it is that you have to take care of. Or you could be living with your parents. You may be young, living in the college dorm, or in the military, living in the barracks, or things of that nature. And you might not have any major bills. You maybe just have a phone bill or simple living expenses like food, clothing, hygiene, even entertainment. But those finances that you spend are called your expenses, or where your money is going, your outcome. So that's finances, basically income and expenses. But literacy has to do with understanding. The definition of financial literacy is simply the ability to read and write, but more specifically, the ability to read and write where your money is coming from and where your money is going. So right here, I am about to start giving you some of the keys, because you're going to need to learn how to read and write a financial statement. Now, before I get too deep in this, don't get discouraged. Don't be afraid, because there's 3 different types of financial statements, and you don't need to fully understand all 3 as of right now. But again, if you stick with me to the end, I'll explain exactly what you need to know and what you can do to learn this information. So I've already explained income and expenses, which are extremely important. But there are a few more components of the financial statement that you will need to understand and apply. In the first video I mentioned, I talked about how poverty is a mindset. So poverty is a mindset, but prosperity is a mindset also, because poverty is not having enough. But prosperity is having more than enough. And a prosperity mindset is simply knowing and believing that you can have more than enough. The thing is, you don't need to be an accountant or work in the financial field to successfully manage your money. You just need to understand the general concept around money and apply the right principles. And I can tell you from personal experience that you can build wealth. You can be prosperous, or you can have more than enough if you simply understand and apply the right principles in the area of finances. And I equally emphasize understand and apply, because I'm going to clarify everything that I'm saying right here and right now. Financial literacy is important, but hear my words. Financial literacy is not enough, meaning that you can have everything written down correctly on paper, but if you don't apply these principles and it doesn't manifest in your real life, reading a piece of paper is going to be useless. You need to be disciplined in how you manage your money. You've probably heard the phrase that knowledge is power. You've probably even heard people go further and say knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power. I'm going to go even further and say successfully and consistently applied knowledge is power. And before I finish breaking down what you need to do, I have to confront some common misconceptions that will hinder you and prevent you from doing what you need to do. So, common misconceptions. One common misconception is that you need expensive or extensive education, such as a college degree. Now, hear me out. I do believe in education. I'm not saying that you don't need education or knowledge, because this is about financial literacy, or knowing and understanding how to read and write where your money is coming from and where your money is going. But please don't just think that just because you have taken costly classes and courses, or because you have some degree, licenses, or certifications, that you will automatically be successful. Everyone knows that there are people that have degrees that don't even work in the field or the industry where they have a degree. Maybe that's you. Maybe you have already invested in education thinking that it would provide the knowledge that you need to be successful, but that success still hasn't come, because education is important, might I say very important, but it's still not the key. In fact, education could be detrimental. You could invest in education and be taught the wrong things. You can wind up learning and applying things that move you further away from the financial growth that you want to see. Or you can just approach education in a selfish manner. And like in the previous video, my real estate broker mentioned how being selfish in pursuing your own goals can even derail you. So again, education is not the key. The second misconception I want to talk about is hard work. That if I work hard, I will be successful. Listen, again, I'm not discouraging hard work. I am a big proponent of hard work. I believe in hard work. I believe every person should work hard. This is a trait that I have such a high level of respect for. Another phrase that you've probably heard or that you're probably familiar with is work smarter, not harder. I get that working hard is smart. The fact is, hard work alone does not bring forth the desired results. So the question is, what is working smart? If education is the key and many people have been taught the wrong things, what does working smart look like? Working smart may be very different than what you think. Historically, the most physically demanding jobs are the lowest paying jobs. Think about slaves or prisoners that have to do some type of gruesome work that nobody would want to do. But think about rich, wealthy, prestigious people that they are usually not working in the most stressful or strenuous environments. And I get that being a leader is a lot of work and responsibility in and of itself. But what I'm saying is that hard work itself is not the key. Just because you work hard does not mean that you're going to automatically see success. Think about in this parable of the talents, what I talked about. The man that buried his talent, it seemed that he worked harder than the others. I mean, to bury something, you have to get a shovel. You have to work really hard to break through the ground. But yet he was scolded. Adam and Eve in the Bible tended the Garden of Eden. So this gives you imagery that we were created to work. In the Bible, 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10 says, if anyone will not work, neither shall he eat. Or most people paraphrase that and says, if a man doesn't work, he doesn't eat. So think about this. Eating is not associated with financial increase and building wealth. Eating is associated to living. If you work hard, listen, I commend you. Like my pastor says, welcome to life. Hard work is associated with living. Keep doing it. In fact, I encourage you, work even harder, but understand hard work itself won't automatically bring you success. Hard work is not the key to prosperity. Hard work is simply a part of life. It's a part of living. The final misconception I want to talk about is luck. People don't become wealthy and stay wealthy by luck. People aren't prosperous by accident. And I'm not talking about someone who has been born into wealth and has been given everything, which is a very rare case. I'm talking about people that had nothing and that have earned and accumulated their wealth and have maintained it or even increased it over a long period of time. These people didn't suddenly strike good luck. It doesn't happen by playing the lottery, gambling, betting, or hoping to hit big. Are there cases of people that have hit big? Of course, but historically, a majority of them are actually destroyed by that wealth. There are some cases of people that were able to successfully leverage their fortune, but they did not do this by accident or happenstance. So thinking that you're going to have some opportunity that no one else has ever had, or something mysteriously is going to happen for you that doesn't happen for anybody else, it's not the way to seek success. Successful people don't have this once of a lifetime opportunity that drops out of the sky and makes itself so obvious that they couldn't miss it. Actually, most successful people are the ones that have experienced great difficulties and they figured out how to overcome them. They have learned how to maximize the opportunities that they did have. So when better opportunities presented themselves, they were able to recognize and take advantage of them. So again, success does not come by luck. Okay, so let's learn what to do. I can't express enough how crucial it is to learn to keep a budget. I mentioned earlier income and expenses. This is simply a budget. A budget is a financial plan, and you can find templates for a budget in various resources. You could probably find one on Google. Dave Ramsey, the Christian financial guru, also offers one. However, wherever you get this template from, your budget needs to be successfully executed. Again, it's useless to just write down where your money should come from, but it never comes in. And it's useless if you write down where your money should go, but the reality is it's going places where it's not intended to go. So I'm not saying that executing a budget is easy, but I am saying that you can do this. And I know personally, because again, I had nothing. Many of these things I was not taught. I didn't learn in school, but I'm telling you that you can do this. I've seen increase in my finances over time. I'm not saying that it's easy, but I am saying that you can do this. I know from personal experience, I've done it. You can do it too. So there's a book called Richest Man in Babylon, and it talks about a concept of start your purse to fattening, or in other words, start making money. You have to learn to consistently make money, meaning that before you get into a career or learn a skill, trade, or vocation, You may have to work a minuscule job for a period of time to start producing steady income. So in other words, what I'm trying to say, you may have to keep your job that you don't like. And I'm not encouraging anything immoral or unethical, but quitting your job just because it's not fun and it's not your passion is not conducive to your personal success. You have to learn to be faithful. You have to learn to be a benefit to your employer, or even if it's your own side hustle or business, you have to learn how to be faithful and be a benefit to whatever it is that you're doing. Another concept that it talks about in this book is control your expenditures, or in other words, you have to learn how to cut out unnecessary expenses. You have to learn how not to spend money on things that are not a necessity. And you can't confuse necessary expenses with desires. One of the concepts that it talks about is that we have more desires than what we can gratify. So you have to deny your own pleasures and you have to control your expenses. Also, this is where taxes come into play. You may have to get with an experienced or reputable bookkeeper, CPA, or tax preparer and or tax strategist, especially if you're making a lot of money, because getting with a trustworthy professional can save you from paying taxes that could be avoided by taking advantage of tax breaks and benefits. Another thing you're going to have to do is save money. Listen, saving money is the essence. Hear me out right here. Saving money is the essence of financial discipline. You will struggle to amass any kind of wealth if you don't learn the art and the skill of keeping back a portion of your earnings. Everyone's situation is different. People have different theories of how much you should save or how you should save. Some say save 10%. Some say 20%. Some say 30%. Some say pay yourself first. However you want to process this, however you want to word it, I'm just telling you that you need to save money. Again, if you need to seek professional advice, I encourage you to do that, but you have to learn to save money. So I'm just going to talk about a few reasons to save. Some may seem obvious, but you want to save for emergencies. Of course, these things are unexpected, they're unplanned, and they are a part of life. Without saving, you will always have financial setbacks. These inconveniences could potentially be catastrophic if you haven't prepared financially. Another reason to save is quality of life. You can actually enjoy some of the pleasures in life if you budget, if you save, and if you can afford it. You can actually have nice things in due season. So here's the key to financial increase right here. Invest. You're going to have to invest. You're not just saving for the sake of saving. As critical as saving is, even that can be bad. You can save out of fear and refuse to ever release the money, because money is not meant to be stored away forever and unused. Money is meant to be put to work. As a matter of fact, I talked about hard work earlier. Your money should be working for you. For those who believe in OPM or other people's money, leveraging financing through loans and credit, listen, I believe in that also, but nobody wants to lend large amounts of money to someone that is dead broke. Saving money is also a beneficial way of leveraging financing for investing so that you don't have to exhaust or deplete your entire savings. So if you are able to save money, it's easier to leverage other people's money when they can see that you have been able to successfully save your own money and maybe even put some towards whatever you're trying to invest in. Look again at the parable of the talents. Look at the one who buried his talent. This can be likened to someone who saves money out of fear or even laziness because they don't want to put forth the work or the sacrifice to invest. And I understand investing, it may seem challenging. I understand that it may seem too risky or too sacrificial, but you will invest in something either intentionally or unintentionally. Investing, again, is a part of life. So you're going to invest in something, but the ones who increased in the story of the parable of the talents are the ones that invested their finances. That investment may look different for everyone, but the concept of investing must be embraced. Of course, not just any kind of investment, but wise investment. So now I'm going to talk about what those investments could look like. So I spoke about education in not so great of a light, but I'm going to talk about investing in education. I know I mentioned that it's not the key, but it is a powerful tool when it's understood and approached as an investment, especially gaining knowledge of finances, economics, sales, marketing, business, areas like those that affect finances. These are practical and applicable areas of education that will help you understand how you can invest. Another form of investment is hard work. Again, I know I mentioned that hard work itself is not the key to financial success, but it is a crucial element of investing. If you have a job, your employer doesn't want to pay you a certain amount of money per hour or a certain salary just for you to work. They are paying you to invest your time, to invest your labor, sweat equity, to invest your knowledge, your skills, your brain power, even your money. You may have to spend money, your transportation, your kids' daycare, uniform, or equipment. You're investing in their company. So again, hard work is an investment. Another investment is business. If you've been making money through a hobby or a side hustle, consider making it a legitimate business, because businesses are designed to make money or profit. Therefore, there are many advantages and benefits available for businesses that you don't have as a person or individual. And if you don't know and understand business structures, invest in researching the differences between sole proprietorship, LLC, S Corp, C Corp, even a nonprofit organization. And if you do already own a business, you can invest money itself by investing in other businesses and companies. You can invest in the stock market, a 401k, IRAs, cryptocurrency, real estate, stocks and bonds, mutual funds. There's many things that you can invest in. My point is simply investing is the key to building wealth. So just to clarify, I'm not saying that as soon as you get some money, start throwing it into sources that you know nothing about. But what I am saying is that investing is the key and the ultimate strategy for building wealth. And over time, those investments will look different. But again, with discipline and diligence, eventually they will begin to compound and grow substantially. So now I'm going to get back to the financial statement. I understand that a financial statement can be complex, but the simplicity of it is income and expenses, like I mentioned. But the other components of a financial statement are assets and liability. And I do want to clarify, I'm talking about a cash flow statement. So the financial statement I'm talking about is the cash flow statement. Assets are the investments that I mentioned. It's anything that's bringing money in. Liabilities are a kind of financial obligation that you have. So they may be geared around your assets, but liabilities are anything that's taking money out. So a financial statement consists of income, expenses, assets, and liabilities, and that results in cash flow. Cash flow is how much money you are actually making. And if you made it all the way here to the end of the video, thank you. So now I want to go ahead and give you this bonus tip. So here's the bonus tip. It is called the cash flow game. This is by Robert Kiyosaki. He made this cash flow game, and for me, it's almost like Monopoly on steroids. Inside this game, it actually has a financial statement that you use in order to play this game, and this financial statement is a real financial statement that you can even use in your real life. So I encourage you to get this game. I actually have one for my kids also. And here's the cash flow game for kids. Again, I encourage you, you can play this with your family and with your kids. I have 3 kids myself, my 2 oldest kids. They will tell you right now, if I ask them, what is an asset? They will tell you it's anything that puts money in your pocket. What is a liability? Is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Again, this is a fun, practical way to implement these financial principles. So that's all we have. Thank you for checking out this video. Don't forget to ask questions and put suggestions in the comment section. Go ahead and click like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.